This is a picture of how our cells actually develop. And this teaching right here is basically called sacred geometry. This will all geometry come from. Everything connects to a circle. Everything connects to these circle patterns. So even if you look at, we start off as a single cell, and then we become what you would call a vesica Pisces. But so this is the two circles that come together that create the vesica Pisces. And why in the Bible they say God is the oneness. So the oneness is right here, the one circle, the completion of the circle. But then God said, "Let there be light." That was the first thing that happened. Was let there be light. And science shows this, that light emanates from the vesica Pisces. And this is why you'll see the Jesus fish. Jesus is the light. You'll always see him sitting in between a vesica. If you just go look up pictures of Jesus, you probably never really paid it no mind. But now you'll see he's always sitting in between a vesica. Any pictures you see of Mary, you'll see her in a vesica, because they supposed to be the light. You know what I mean? Because of oneness itself is darkness. So that's why they say we have a black sun, we have another sun. So the oneness itself is the dark, and the darkness is the void, which you must say. Um, and it's not nothingness. But a lot of people believe that, like, how could you create all creation from nothing? That don't make sense. It's actually fullness. It's oneness. It's wholeness. And the whole thing can't be experienced unless it start breaking off. Now I could, the first separation. Now God could see Himself, because now it's an outside and it's an inside, and then it's a side that's in the middle that joins the outside and inside, and that's where experience happens at, in the middle point. That's why everything is about the middle point, the heart, the middle thing. So now going on, moving down, you can see it skipped the 3, but then it gets to the 4, and then now you can see the 7. And in sacred geometry, once you get 7 circles, you can see that it's another circle around that. That's called the seed of life. So this, the one that's at the bottom, creates the seed. This is why um life was created in 7 days, because this is when it actually formulated, and the circles all became a harmonized one thing, which we will call the seed of life. All life comes from that. So now hold on, let me show y'all some other pictures. All of these systems right here is still those circles completing more circles and more circles and more circles, and literally you got a whole bunch of systems that was created. So our astrology could be pointed out in this. For the people that know about like the Kabbalah teachings is the teachings that, see, the Jews, they real secretive about their teachings. So you really don't know what they be teaching, but they teachings even come from this. Let me show you that real fast. Right here. So this right here, the tree of life and the tree of death. Literally, that's what the Bible really talking about when it's talking about the tree of life, and he ate from the tree of life, and the tree of death, don't eat from this tree and that tree and that. This shit is all talking about this sacred geometry. And as you can see right here, this is what the Kabbalah, the Jewish teachings, is 100% built around. And you can see it right here. It comes directly from the flower of life. This pattern right here that you see, the entire pattern, is what they call the flower of life. Becomes that flower. And every spiritual system you could find within this system, because it's going back to everything. Everything came from the circle. Everything was created from the circle. Even looking at this, right? This is literally how we descended down into this earth, and this is how we're gonna descend back up. It's all through spirals. The soul going in spirals coming up. So right here in the middle of this, where you can see the down spiral, it enters with the lower spiral, that's literally the separation, you could say, between the spiritual realm and entering into the physical realm. And that's why all teachers teach that as above, so below. The spiritual realm is just a reflection of the physical realm, as you can see right here in this spiral. But if you see the symbol over here, how it looked from the top, then look what you looking at. Look what you're looking at. You're looking at the crown. Because this is the portal that allows the soul to enter into the body and allow us to have this experience. But you can see that it's not no disconnection. It's just that from the top, which you will call the highest aspect of mind, the spiral go down and it get wider and wider. So the further it go down, the deeper it goes into density. This is why the root chakra is like, it's physical. It's the most dense spin because it's literally the bottom of the spiral where things separate more and it's more separation. But the more you go up the spiral, the more you go up the chakras. Chakra in Sanskrit just means spinning energy. That's what it's really showing you. That's why the crown chakra is that symbol right there, that flower. You know what I mean? So the more you go up in energy, all you're doing is going up until you enter out that cone, and then now you enter into the spiritual realm, and you're the higher you go up in the spiritual realm, it don't get denser. Everything become one because oneness is vast. So that's why our chakra system is a mirror. Separation and completeness are mirrors of each other. You could fold this up, and it's really showing you the circle. 0 and 360 is the same exact spot. You right here at 0, and then you start going into a circle. When you get to 360, you're actually back at 0, showing you that everything and nothing are just reflections of each other. That's why I say all of this stuff connect directly to the circle. It connect directly to the circle. And what I was explaining is like that right there. 360 degrees and 0 is the same spot that where that line at. And understanding this, the more you understand cycles, the more you understand circles, the more you understand how it all works. It all connects. It's all a connection. And this is why the greatest law, if you don't know no laws of the universe, the greatest law you could know is the energy you put out must come back around to you. If you don't learn nothing else, and that's the only thing you learn, that will set you free. That's spirituality. Because the cycle is everything. The circle is everything. Your cells is made out of what? What your cells look like? A circle. As I just showed in this picture. That's what your cells look like. But even when you go in your cells and you go into the molecules and you go into the particles of the cell, what they look like? Tiniest circles that's rotating around each other. So when we talking about we were made in the image of God, I don't look like none of y'all, but y'all all look like we all look alike on this level. Am I this one person, individuality, or am I a collective of cells that makes up this one person that I call myself? I'm a collective of cells. So my true identity is a circle. This is the real this is the truth behind that. And then it go into the Metatron's cube. You can look at this up too. This Metatron's cube connect directly to Christ consciousness. They say Christ was the Metatron's cube. And you like, how the hell is Christ, this person, connected to some damn cube? But this cube is literally the circles that's within the flower of life. But now you're taking that circle, and from the center, you draw a line to that circle. and then from the line to that circle, and the line to that circle, and the line. It's just you connecting all of the circles with lines now, because lines is the masculine aspect of a thing that I allow you to have experience for real. Because circle is just the cycle. It's the feminine aspect. It's the space that you could penetrate in. So if you got a circle and you're in the middle, you could go up, you could go down, you could go here, you could move through it. But now this talking about connecting all of the circles and connecting it, and to create this Metatron's cube is what they call it, and they say that that is the energy, that's Christ consciousness. And all that is just showing that when all of our circles connect back to each other, that's when you experience Christ consciousness. It's not talking about Christ or Jesus is the actual symbol. It's just telling you that, man, when you connect everything that's within you, everything within you connect, and you get connected back to the whole. You get connected back to oneness. That's how you be able to see things from the all-seeing eye. And then once you open your third eye, which connects to Christ consciousness, then you see past illusion, and you're able to enter the higher states of mind that allow you to experience the oneness, and that's what the crown chakra is. The experience of the oneness. Let me see this other picture I got. And this picture right here just show um move it up a little bit. This show the cycles that we go through. All you can see all still is circles. So the cycle that's allowing us right now to have our awakening is because we went from the winter, as I was explaining for the people that was there in that other live, to now we're in the spring. We're in the time of awakening. So this awakening is going to happen regardless. Even though we got a whole bunch of elder sleep people, they going to die. Sorry to say that. But they going to die, and their kids is going to be the ones that's going to be awakened. And it's going to be way easier to give their kids this information because they're going to be more connected to it. But if you could see right here, and it's kind of small, but the one that's like in colors, it show you that each age connects to a specific animal, because every season has 3 months, but 3 months always has a middle month. So the first month of spring is influenced by the winter because it just came out of the winter energy before it came into spring. The the last month of spring is influenced by the summer because it's going into the summer. It connects directly to the summer. It's only 1 month of spring that is its full potential energy that represents spring to the fullest, and that's Taurus energy. So that's the energy that we're in now. We entered into this awaken, right? But if you look, it's kind of small. I can expand it a little bit so you can see it. Hold on. But if you could look a little closer, you'll see that it got a lion right here because the middle of the summer is Leo. That's the middle energy. And then down here you can see for fall, you see it's the eagle right there. It's an eagle, a bird, because that's the middle energy of Scorpion. And then on the other side, on this side, you can see man. And man is the age we came out of. We just came out of a very, very, very masculine energy. And that's why it was all about who got the biggest swords, who got the biggest armies, who's more masculine. That's why it was the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's why God was he. That's why the heavens and the sky became man. Everything became masculine, 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 because we were in masculine energy for the last 6,000 years. And that masculine energy was the dark age. That's when we went to sleep. Masculine connects to physical. They switched it around. I explained that before. The ancient Egyptian system, if you really looked at it, um, you had the god Nut and Geb. Geb represented the earth. He was the guy. Nut would be like hunched over like this, like a C, and there's stars throughout her whole body. She represents the heavenly realm. So they flipped it around and made the heavenly realm God and made Mother Nature. So that's the first flip that they did on us to try to confuse us. But masculine energy always in all ancient cultures connected to masculine because the mind is a force. It only could see from one direction. It compartmentalized, it put things in the box. That's masculine energy. It embodies. The heart is feminine. It cycles, circles, cycles, same thing. It frees. And that's the energy we're in now. We're going through a awakening. Everybody, rather you want to believe it or not. And this is why you got so many people that want to eat healthy and they don't even know why they want to eat healthy. They want, oh no, that's all natural. I only use all natural creams and soaps. Everybody want to be all naturals. Man, you was just using Irish Spring and all them chemicals your whole life. Now why you so natural? Everybody want to be natural. It's because of the awakening. It's happening. They can't do nothing about it. Every fast food restaurant now have vegan food. Why everybody want to not eat meat no more? Because we're not in that time of density no more. We're not in that time of physical who got the muscles. Now we're in a time of who got the energy. The gods is back. The neters are back. The spirits is back. The whatever name you want to use don't matter. But the energy is back now. And that's why hypnosis is a real thing now. But somebody that got that masculine mind, like, man, if hell, you can't do. It's closed-minded. It's a force. It only could see from its own perception. The heart could see the whole thing. You know what I mean? So, and then even when you look at this, because of the comedics, see that. That's why I made sure I add in the little comedic version showing the same exact thing. And then when you go to the bottom of here, you will notice that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is represented by what? Man, lion, bull, and eagle. Right? It's literally showing you the same thing. And then you got the 12 disciples. You got the 12 months and the 4 seasons, the 4 evangelists. And the whole Bible really was talking about this because this was the only teaching. Spiritual teaching was always about the circle, about the cycle, understanding the cycles that's outside of us and understanding the cycles that's within us and understanding how they connect. Because if you going against the cycles, you lost. You already lost. And I'm really just starting to get into learning about the moon cycles and how important the moon cycles is. And just to even touch on that a little bit, like I was trying to start a company. Well, not start a company. I started a company. I had my company already, but I was putting my hoodies on Amazon, and now I'm talking about everything that could have went wrong went wrong. I'm talking about to the people. I'm on the phone with these people from the Amazon company, and they like, yo, I never seen nothing like this. I'm like, yo, this been going on for days. I'm trying to da 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 da. And then around this time, I was still going to the Temple of Anu, and you had an astrologist that before the session start, before we start the temple and before the high priest come out and start speaking, she started speaking about astrology. And she was a master of it. And that's why I say I'm gonna really like get deep into that bag. I do soul readings, I tap into it, but I need to like really tap into the lunar cycles and understanding when it's waning and when it's doing this and when it's in retrograde. All that stuff really matter because she started talking about it and she was like, yo, this is not the time to start a business. This is not the time to start nothing new. The moon is in retrograde, Mercury retrograde. We in the planet Saturn, da da da, this and that. And everything gonna go wrong when you try to da da da. And da da da. And as she talking, I'm like, because it was making sense of everything. Because I'm the one sitting there trying to start something. And just imagine, think about this. The energy of the world is going this way, meaning it wants you to reflect. It wants you to go within, and that's what retrograde is. That's why when we go through these Mercury retrogrades, everything from your past starts to come up to the surface. You get triggered in ways you like, I don't know what my girl, my family, everybody, and that, and all the universe is doing is saying, let go of this stuff that's in you. Let go of this stuff that's in you. Let it all go. right? Imagine the universe is spinning, saying let go, and here go me spinning the other way, like I want to start this, and it's like, bro, this is the time of letting go, not the time of starting something. And I'm like, no, I want to start this. You lost already. That's not a fight you could beat. You're going against universal laws. So by understanding the cycles, understanding, if you got to think about this, who created the cycles? That's one thing that's not man-made. We created time, we created the names of the months, we created all of that. But the cycles, that's the how it moved, it been there. That's not something that we created, that's something we discovered. That's something that we discovered. It was already there. And that's why it's called the eternal cycles. It's infinite. And this cycle right here that we go through is 25,920 years. That's a long time. But the ancient books say that that's one day compared to God. That's only one day compared to God looking down. But to us, that's damn, you know what I mean? And that 25,920 years is what you call a complete cycle. That's when the heavens start over. And when the heavens start over, that's when we say we went from one age of people to another age of people. It like literally civilizations ended when that time ended. Ended through a flood, ended through a fire, ended through this. And I read a book that explained that we going through the shift of an old reality ending without fire, water, and all of that. Like we literally going through it in consciousness. So 2012 was when the winter ended. So when the spring started, usually the spring started after a flood and everything got wiped out. It's a start over. It's a reset. We going through a reset without going through a physical reset. And that's why we could see some of the people is waking up, some of the people is asleep. And the book that I read was from a channeler that channels and the aliens, if you must say, the higher dimensional beings. This is a fascinating time in our solar system because this never happened before. A whole civilization of souls going through an awakening without a reset. And this is where it come where they say, man, some of us are gonna stay on the timeline of awakening, and some of us gonna is getting pulled to other timelines because the awakening gotta happen. It's inevitable, but you got some people that don't want to lose their power. They don't want to lose their control, and that's the people that's spraying the chemtrails in the sky, and that's um feeding us apples that don't grow naturally, that they don't got the sunlight in it, that's waking us up. So, it take way more effort and work to create a fake apple. You know how much work it take? But an apple itself got 5 seeds in it that could grow 5 new trees. So if you just let nature do itself, like we would never have to grow nothing fake. Because the sun gives to us infinitely. Rain comes when it needs the rain. The universe take care of itself, and then the apples drop and roll and another tree grow without even our permission. And then you eating apples, and then naturally we supposed to take a dump, and wherever you took a dump at, your duty was fertilizer. But now we got to use horse maneuver because of the horse is the only thing eating clean. We eating so much poison, you doodle on the ground, you gonna poison the ground. So it's a system that's set where everything feeds itself. Well, you don't want for nothing. We don't got, nature gives abundantly to abundantly of abundantly. But we live in a system where there's no female trees. Why you think pollen is so crazy in America but not in other places? You know what pollen is? That's the male busting off to try to impregnate the female, but no females around. But it was intentionally done. They took the female trees down because if we have female trees, we would have stuff like this. And this is a female tree right here. We would have stuff like this. And having stuff like this is food. And I looked this up. These are actually edible. And it's sweet and good. And got seeds in them so they can reproduce themselves. We would have stuff like this, and you could just go in your backyard and eat. So now you don't got to worry about where I'm gonna get food from, where I'm gonna go work from, where I'm gonna do that. You could just go and eat from nature. And guess what? Where that tree got his energy from? You ain't gonna believe it. The sun blessed that tree. So you actually eating the sun. But they don't want us eating the sun. They want us eating electricity. So they got these light shining on the food where it's not getting that sunlight. So the energy that's in that fruit is not the same. It don't come from source. It don't come from what your soul come from. All of this shit is done intentionally. And that berry was good to tell to let y'all know if y'all ain't know. But let me go back. Let me see any other pictures I want to share that I could break down. This picture right here is basically when I was explaining that you don't kill the ego. So the part of us that's our ego is not to be killed. Literally right here, this is Set and Heru. Heru represents the soul. Set represents the ego. They got to merge and become one. You see this picture right here? You got Heru on one side and you got Set on one side. And that thing that you see in the middle, that's the spinal cord. It takes your ego is the only reason why you have individuality. So it's not about killing your ego. No, your ego need to work with your soul because long as you're in a physical body, you have an ego. There's no way you could be an individual and not have an ego. But the ego don't have to be your lower nature. The ego when you let the ego drive, the ego connects to the unconsciousness. It's ruled by fear. So when you allowing the unconsciousness to drive, you wonder why you crash into a wall because the unconsciousness can't see. Haru is the light that could see. Your soul could see through bull. So your soul needs to be the one driving, and your ego needs to be in the passenger seat. That's how it's supposed to be. And even the picture right here, you can see that's the pharaoh in the middle. And you have Set on one side and Haru on the other side. Basically showing you they need to work together in order for you to be a king of your kingdom. You need your lower nature and your higher nature working together. But your lower nature got to get pulled up so it can know itself as because it's your programming. But your programming don't all got to be negative. You can have good programming. You can have programming of abundance and of happiness, and then you could. But we were taught and we were programmed to have all negative programming. When you look at the news, it's an hour of negative. So you trying to tell me newscasters when y'all was going around the world, y'all ain't see nothing good? Once in a blue moon, they talking about let's say this cat out of the tree. But as you can see in the bottom picture right here, you got Set on the boat with Ra. Ra supposedly represents the higher soul, right? So think about that. The higher soul, not just any old soul, the higher aspect of you. That's what Ra represents in the boat. But they got Set in front of the boat protecting it, showing you that your ego could protect your higher self when it's programmed correctly. You get what I'm saying? All of this thing is just about overcoming your lower nature. But like I say, we was taught to be in anger, to not trust, to see things through separation, to fight each other. And all of that do is allow Set to win because Set represents division. That's what the ego came here to be individual. And as long as you're looking at yourself as you separate from somebody else, you can fight with the world. But your higher chakras, asar, represent oneness. Saying, I see that I'm not y'all, but I know that I'm not this physical body either. I'm the soul that's in this physical body. And the soul that's in your physical body is of the same substance as the soul that's in my body. So technically, we are the same. We are both individual aspects of the divine. And this forgetfulness of your divine nature into believing that you are your lower nature, that's the problem. Spirituality is about waking yourself up out of that lower nature, realizing that you are not the programs that's programmed in you. You're the soul that have programs in you. You are not your emotions and feelings. You're the soul that feels your emotions and feelings. You are not your thoughts. You are the soul that thinks the thoughts. You are not your body. You're the soul that have this body and that functions this body. And look, I'm gonna move my arm up. My soul is moving my arm up. My body not doing that. I'm the soul that controls this body. But when you let this body control you, you're controlled by your lower nature. You're controlled by your ego, your false self. It's a false identity. Let me show this picture though. This what they waiting for. Y'all see that? That's what a lot of people waiting for. A man to come out down the sky to say, "Are you there? He's saving us." When man, you gotta save yourself. You gotta awaken yourself from your sleep state. You gotta raise your consciousness, and that's the only thing that's gonna save you. If not, you're gonna continue to incarnate into these physical bodies, and it's gonna just happen over and over and over and over until you finally say, "Man, I want something different," and the universe gonna say, "All right, if you want something different, be something different." And if you're not being nothing different, you can't get nothing different. And that's just it is, man. And for the most part, it's just about doing the shadow work. It's just about removing what you're not so you can really see what you are. They say I be trying to teach this to my folks, man. They look at me like a fool. Um, the truth is, man, this how the matrix start. Red pill, blue pill. And if you watch the Matrix, remember the time when the guy that traded, and it's always a trader in every spiritual system. Rather you looking at Lion King, rather you looking at Matrix, rather you looking at Jita and Judas, it's always somebody that turns on you. So in the Matrix, it wasn't no difference. So the guy that's traded. Remember the time when he was eating the steak? He was.
You know, I know this steak doesn't exist. I know that when I put it in my mouth, the Matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious. After 9 years, you know what I realize? Ignorance is bliss.
But it's all fake, right? But you got to see what he was saying to the agents. He was saying, "Look, man, when you put me back in my body in the Matrix, um, I don't want to have no memory of none of this stuff." He don't want to know the truth. He like, yo, I just want to be lost in it, where I could eat good steaks. I make a lot of money. I just want to be fully immersed in the false reality. Some people chose the red pill. So imagine a person like him. Here you go. Yo, let me tell you, let me teach you, let me tell you, let me like, bro. He literally put that in his programming of his soul that he don't want to know none of this. So it's people that's like that you're gonna run into, and at the end of the day, man, I plant seeds and I keep it moving. Maybe your next life, you'll get it. The seed that I planted in your soul. It's not meant for you to get it. I'm not trying to fight it into you. And you got to even think with all of this knowledge I got, like, I didn't force my mama ain't even woke. You get what I'm saying? She woke to a certain extent, but she's not fully woke. I got brothers that ain't fully woke. I got brothers that's fully sleep, like literally. That I won't even dare even try to talk spiritual to because I already know that they picked the red pill. You know what I'm saying? I'll plant a seed here and there and let them pick it up if they pick it up, but I'm not forcing this on nobody. And at the end of the day, the people that want it, they're gonna show up. They're gonna pop up. And I really learned that the greatest teacher is your experience. Don't try to teach people how to about spirituality. Be spiritual to the point they questioning how you are. That's how I start talking to my family about it. I ain't come to them like, yo, let me show you this. No, they start questioning me because they seen the dramatic change. And they seen how good I'm doing. I want to do good. I'm tired of stressing. What the how you stop stressing? Now let's talk about it. Because when they come to you, they're way more open to receive. But when you try to go to them, you go into a door that's closed and you keep knocking. They like peeking out, like, bro, get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? So that was one of the most humblest lessons. It's a lot of people I lost because when we talk and they giving me they negative, I'm giving them they positive views and they don't want to hear positive. So to them, I'm like a disease. I threaten their ego. I threaten their identity. Nobody want their identity threatened. Everybody don't want to go through the awakening process. It's hurtful. It hurted me. Not knowing who I am because I got to give up so much of these parts of me that I believe myself to be my entire life. I started questioning who I'm going to be on the other end. I had no idea because I've never been this person before. But now that I'm here, I'm happy that I'm here. You know what I mean? And I would, if I could go back, I'd come back here again and again and again and again. But to get here, it was scary. I ain't know what was over here. I ain't know life outside of gang banging. I ain't know what that looked like. You get what I'm saying? So that's like the little show, life outside of jail. When you've been in jail for so long, it look a little spooky out here when you first get out here. You don't know what to expect. And people fear the unknown more than they fear the known. Some people would rather be comfortable and hurt than to experience the unknown that could heal them. The unknown is so scary because you don't know what's on the other end. But for me, I didn't care what was on the other end. I knew it was better than what's on this end. I keep waking up in jail with a bunkie I don't like. Nah, I don't care what's on the other side. I'm going over there. I'm going to go check it out. And guess what? If I don't like it, the streets ain't going nowhere. That was my mentality. If I don't like it, I know I could still come back to the hood and I could be the big homie again and everybody gonna respect me. Straight up. I knew that. That path ain't going nowhere. Let me see what's over here though. You know what I mean? And once I came over here, I ain't never going back. I ain't looking back. And even the thoughts popped in my mind like, damn, being conscious. Imagine me having this mindset and being in the streets, ruling over everybody, having people. Man, I could have been rich like this off the streets. But my soul didn't want that. I could see through everything. I could make all of the people that somebody's be loyal to me by me fake being loyal to them, but I don't know how to be fake. That ain't in me. I don't know how to lie and have a straight face. I don't know how to be a fraud. And there's no way that I could be conscious using these sleep people and not see myself. So myself, it didn't resonate with me. I could have had the whole block selling my drugs. I don't even gotta sell nothing. I don't even gotta show up. And then when I do show up, I show up like God, like I'm invincible with shooters around me. And where's the point where I could have painted that picture, I could have been that person, but it's not me. My soul didn't desire that. I said, man, I'd rather be what they call a square nigga, square me up. You know what I mean? Before I'm over there gangster, everybody. You know, and once I really this was a humbling moment as well for me. When I went back, it was my brother party. And this is the brother, the sleep brother. So, the people from the block, the people that used to worship me, used to, big brother, big nah, everybody, the people that wanted to take pictures with me because of my street cred and all of this stuff, man, they was taking a picture. And one of them same people that would have died to be in the picture with me asked me to be the cameraman. And a part of me was like, You don't want me in the picture? Nah, we don't want you in the picture. You just bear your ass up out of here. You ain't the gangster that we love no more. And a part of my ego, my old self was like, damn, it got that bad. They don't even want me in the picture. Like, I used to be the heart of the picture. You know what I mean? Nah, we don't want you in the picture. You could take the picture though. Like, I was like, but I was all right taking the picture because the picture wasn't a picture that portrays who I am. He was in the picture throwing it up or whatever. I don't want to be in that picture. But that was a little gut shot to my old self. You know what I mean? Who I used to be was looking from the side like, oh, that's wow. But my spiritual side was like, man, it is what it is, bro. You ain't that person no more. And that show that they see that you ain't that person, man. Pat yourself on the back. And I was like, yo, you know what? I ain't that person, man. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
that's so cool.
That's such a cool hoodie, oh my god.
Through your spine, from the root to the ground now. You align now. Meditation, you already hold. When the body connect with the mind and soul. Yeah. Meditation got me in a trance state. Reprogramming thoughts, now I vibrate. Overthinking fade when I sit still. Now I move through life with a stronger will. Got my meditation hoodie, crystals all aligned. 7 in the pockets, energy up the spine. From the root to the crown, feel the current flow. Now abundance coming as I let it go. Energy right, now I'm in my zone. I don't chase nothing, I attract my own. Meditation, slow it down, get in control. Inhale, exhale, now you and your soul. Meditation, let it go, let it flow. When you quiet your mind, that's when you grow. Meditation, feel it rise through your spine. From the root to the crown now, you align now.